Welcome to episode 11 of
Take It Up a Notch.
I'm Rach, your curriculum guide, here to help you connect tech to powerful learning.
And I'm Claire, your tech guru, ready to demystify the digital world for your classroom. This episode was actually inspired by a lovely listener question. It's all about filling a huge hole in the EdTech landscape, the death of Jamboard, which was very upsetting to so many people at the end of December 2024. Google officially retired Jamboard. So we're breaking down 3 of the best replacements for Aussie teachers that need a new space for sticky notes, brainstorming, and real-time collaboration.
Yeah.
All right. So our question comes from the lovely Louise. So we connected on Instagram. So I have my creative Digitech teacher page and she has a STEM teacher page. She's based in Melbourne and we followed each other. So she's followed us from the beginning when I was sharing about Take It Up a Notch and she's wonderful. She always comments on our videos that I post and she even tried our Google Drawing one, which was very exciting. But she sent us an audio note for her question. So here it is.
Hi guys, I'm Louise and I'm a STEM educator in Melbourne and I'm absolutely loving your podcast. I'm in need of some help. I'm really stuck since Jamboard is no longer in existence and I need an awesome digital brainstorming tool that students can collaborate their ideas on, something we can visually see, an easy place where I can share a link with students so they can access the collaborative space, somewhere safe for them to share their ideas would be great. So if you've got any awesome new platforms, something free would be ideal. That would be great. Thanks so much.
All right. So what's the problem, Rach? Do you want to tell us about the problem?
Well, the problem is that, well, you know what really is the problem? I think I'm on a tangent. But I think you can't ever get too attached to a tech tool.
I know.
Because they will pull them at a whim.
Yep. Or they'll update them and they're unrecognizable.
Yeah, and it won't work the way that you want.
But I must say, back when we first went on to Google Workspace and used digital like docs and sheets, and it became this huge thing. And then Jamboard just started popping up as a really awesome way to have sticky notes on a board, and it was collaborative, and you could save it to your drive, and it was such a great tool for the classroom.
That, I think, is the biggest positive of these, because I'm sure we've all been in PD before where there's a great big piece of butcher's paper and Post-it notes and texters, and that's fine, but you can't save that easily, and you can literally save the pieces of paper, but they're ginormous, and that's not practical. So I think being able to have an electronic solution in that instance, whether it be for staff learning or for student learning, to be able to save the thinking is where these tools have their greatest strength.
It was great because you could add, like on Google Classroom, you'd share a link to one, and the kids could just jump on and do their own Post-it notes. And you have to do the whole, like you do with every tool. You know, they have their little moment of being silly with it and having a bit of a play. But then you put the protocols in place. And it was such a great way. And you could just print it. And so it was a huge problem, huge issue when they announced it in 2023. I'm pretty sure that it was going, even earlier, possibly. I remember going to a Google Educator event when it came up that it was closing down. And the reasoning really was, I think Google at the time was their AI was Bard. Do you remember BARD?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And they were really wanting to focus their time and energy, which rightly so. Gemini is incredible. But at the time, they were like, we're just going to let this go because we don't have the time or the resources to worry about it. They just, I know.
Shows how little I know, because I would have imagined that something like that, once it's set up, would sort of run itself.
I know, but obviously after being at Google quite a few times, they have a lot of people that work in teams on projects and they're all constantly evolving.
Yeah.
And different ones have different priorities for different reasons, for, in needs. And obviously that one, maybe they just thought, nah, people are using other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's devote our time to Gemini instead or to a new project. And it's a real shame because I loved it as a Google tool. So what is something free that can do this other than, I've seen people use Google Slides in a similar way. You can do it with shapes.
Yep.
But there's other really cool, very similar ones that you can use as well. And look, our solutions for you, they're all web-based. You can access them on a web browser or even an app in some cases. And you can use your Google account to sign into them, which is good. And they're free ones. We wanted to make sure that they were
Definitely
free.
want free.
So the first alternative, I must admit I haven't used it. Have you?
I had a little look.
Yeah.
I had a little look. You know what? I wouldn't use this in the classroom purely because of its name.
I know. So it's called FigJam.
So they have a free educator account. So even though it's a paid subscription-based resource, you can get it for free for a teacher. But you can't be standing at the front of the classroom going, open up your FigJam.
Yeah, sometimes you question where these
well, I looked it up because I was
that was
interested.
like a real 90s thing to talk about. Like, was it Toe Jam?
I looked it up. So the name of the company starts with Fig something like that.
Yeah.
And then Jam sort of makes sense because like Jamboard, you're
Yes, of
jamming,
course,
that makes sense. And that was their working title when they were developing it. And they liked it so much they thought it was a bit funny, ha kind of thing. And I think it misses the mark. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Unless you couldn't access the other ones, I'd probably,
Yeah. And when everything happened with Jamboard, you had that option to download them as PDFs and keep them if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
And I think I did for maybe a couple, but really most of it was sort of irrelevant
sort of
now.
in the moment
kind
of tool. Yeah. So should we talk about its strengths and that anyway, in case there's someone out there that it could benefit?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's free for every K to 12 users and higher education. And all you need is a verified school email. You can directly import your old Jamboard files into it, which is really cool. I think that's why they're saying this is a good alternative.
Yep.
So then you could make your old files editable again. Fun and simple, built-in stamps, voting and timers, and it seamlessly connects to your Google Workspace.
I like the idea of voting.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows me from a little while ago knows I love Pear Deck.
Oh,
and
Pear Deck.
I know.
We
and
talked
it's still
about that
out.
once before.
Yeah, it's still out there, but
I think it's been turned off for us, hasn't it?
yeah, in our particular system, we don't have access anymore. So because Pear Deck, if you're listening, we have asked you for information about data security with the way you use student data.
It did a match up, did it?
They just never replied. They're not interested in replying. So
fair enough.
But I think built-in voting and things like that can be really useful. On the fly in the classroom, you don't always need.
Well, the other two we're going to say, I'm pretty sure do that too.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
I haven't seen that on loose.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, yes. Alternative B, guys, is Lucid Spark. So it's something that we have access to through our Google Drive. It's really good. It teaches the ideas into a structured plan. I know you love a good flow chart.
I do like
Some
a flow
friends
chart.
of ours love it too.
Yep.
Making diagrams or workflows.
Yep.
It's excellent for that. But we had some training and we used it a lot when we were running PD with schools, and as a great way for teachers to build awareness on Jamboard,
build awareness
on Lucid Spark, and how they can utilize that as an alternative. So it's free for education for verified educators and students. It's just all through your Google Drive. You just went to Drive, New, scroll down, and all the tools, and Lucid's chart and Lucid Spark was there.
Yes.
And in Spark, you can make a template of frames, have a question at the top. I used to like putting images there. And then you could have a button with the Post-it note icon, and you could click on it. And I loved that you had all the rainbow colors. So you could and because you sign in through your Google Drive to it, when you're in it, you can type on the Post-it notes as yourself. You'll see your name come up. The other thing that it's funny when you've shared this collaborative link with people and you start to see everyone's little initials rolling around the screen on this little dot with an arrow.
I do like that.
And oh God, the excitement, even with a group of teachers doing PD. Was like, and then there's the silliness that
it's
ensues.
the Marauders map.
It is. It actually.
That's what it reminds me of. So if you haven't seen it before, imagine from Harry Potter, the Marauders map. And the way the little like icons move around the castle.
It is
You're moving
fun.
around your whiteboard.
And if you do that with your students, be prepared for that same excitement. And then the problem that did come up, though, was people were saying to me, can you lock things so they don't get deleted? And you can, but students could still edit some things, but I'm sure you could.
There must be a workaround.
Yeah.
But
But
say you did an image, put it in as a screenshot.
yeah.
You know, so that was fixed and then they put their stuff
Yeah,
over
you
something
definitely
like
could. And there are so many other, we won't go into it all because it's probably could do a whole episode on Lucid Spark, but we had some great training with a great lady, Vanessa, her name was, from the US, and she showed us you can pretty much set up a guided lesson really with your students and set up, so you might have post-it note question section, and then you can actually guide the learning as the leader of like that activity, and you can drag all the students to a point on there wherever you want.
Yes, I remember seeing
And it's this
that. Yes.
infinite board, like, and then she had another section we went to where it was like a multiple choice quiz or what's your favorite chocolate or whatever we did. And then there was images of it, and then from there, then it was like the voting poll.
Gosh,
then there was like
this whole
it was like a
experience
choose
from
your
my
own
memory.
adventure. I remember,
Yeah.
like, and there was so many other. You could go to like do research on something, answer a question.
Very good, but
Full on.
yeah, it's a lot of setup though. And now
a lot, and
reflect
that
on
was something I wanted to get into more. Just one of
didn't
those
get
things.
there.
We just didn't get the time, but we really liked it.
I
like,
think that would be good if you were doing something repeatedly. You know, if you're an RFF teacher or something, and then
you
wanted
could
to
have
do the
that
same
lesson
lesson over and over.
Oh, that'll be me.
Yeah, then because the effort involved in setting up one of those boards would be worthwhile if you were doing it over and over.
True.
I don't know for a one-off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so which is probably why I never really made the
Yeah.
time to do it, and I wasn't teaching classes at the time.
Yeah, if it didn't
and
suit the
but I
what you
think
needed.
I might look into it a bit more because we've still got it. So
But what's your thoughts though then, Claire? Because I think with Lucid, Spark and Chart, even though today we're talking about Spark, but with both of them, I think they're probably more suited to secondary.
I agree with you, to be
And,
honest.
yeah, secondary
It's
or
very
teachers.
complicated. Like I love that you've got the collaborative controls to help, but kids can get lost in there.
And it's just a bit more grown up and sophisticated.
I agree. It was
than
probably
some of
better
the
at
others.
how we use it as a tool for adults. So if you're doing PD with teachers in a staff meeting or that kind of, perfect.
Yes.
And even logging into it even some teachers found that tricky.
Yeah.
Even though it can be a private link, it can be one within your system, which is what we would do. But then people would have to sign in with their Google account to open that link. And then people found that tricky.
Yeah.
So then I would just change it to anyone with the link. But then you didn't have to sign in, so you wouldn't see your initials. And so I found that annoying.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't let that put anyone off doing it with
give
teachers, though,
it a go.
or with older students, because I think it's nice for students to graduate to more sophisticated tools.
Something different.
Yeah, and the same for staff. You know, staff don't want to be treated like a child necessarily.
So our third option probably is my favourite.
Well, I think we're saving this to last.
And
Sorry,
one we
listeners.
just recently did our last episode on, actually. Big surprise, Canva.
Yeah, Canva would be my go.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's basically a lot of people don't think of Canva for whiteboards, but there is a whiteboard option there. And we used to do those Zooms with our friend Megan from Canva, and we'd write down notes and ideas for different things that we're talking about at the time. And that was what made me go, I didn't even think I could use Canva for whiteboards. And I've used it quite a lot.
Well, and they've got a million templates even.
Yes.
You type in, if you go into Canva and you've got that search bar when you first arrive, and you just type in whiteboards, you can start with a blank one. There's a million templates. Yeah.
So good. And that's what I like about it. And I like, because we're lucky enough that we're in Canva for districts as well, super easy to share with your students, with to other fellow teachers as well. It's free with Canva for Education. Like you said, you've got all the graphics, photos, fonts. It's really good for visually engaging, or even for teachers, professional learning. One time I used it with a school, and it was one of those things, like you just said, do we get the butcher's paper out and physically write down everyone's votes for ideas for the topic we're trying to narrow down? And I just went, we've got this TV here. I'll just quickly whip up this Canva whiteboard, and they had Google Classroom, so I could easily share the link with them on that. And the teacher was like, oh, this is great. And then they had, like you said, the evidence of that.
Yeah.
And for their project, for their research. And they could go back to it. They added to it as the project evolved and they narrowed it down. Then we had a page on just that topic they chose, and they were putting their research links into it. And then we made a doc. And so that was a really great way of using it. So I
wonder if you could take something like that and like feed it into one of our large language models and then get a summary.
Oh, yeah, totally cool.
Yeah,
That was the other thing in Lucid Spark. That was my favorite trick to show people. So you'd have like the 3 questions. I think we used to use it for what is AI, what AI tools have you used, and what do you want to learn?
Yeah.
And then you could highlight the whole 3 frame boxes, and AI would summarize it.
Yes. See,
And
that's
then
nice.
and then make it, and then that was what everyone went, oh, like it's just so good as in a class with students. You
know
could
what would be good,
quickly
Nikki, if you could
summarize.
say, what do you like? We're going to summarize this with AI. What would your summary be? Everyone does their own summary.
And then
Compare it to the AI summary. That'd be good learning in many aspects, you know, in terms of like the summarizing and knowing the content you're summarizing and understanding how AI works.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, nice. So I think Canva is a very easy one to use for sure.
Yep.
And like I said, you can do it up if you want to stick with the Google setup. You could just do it in slides.
Well, I was thinking about that, and I think it's important to note because not everyone always realizes that when you open up a new slide deck, it's the size of your screen or a TV. That's whatever that ratio is.
Yeah.
But you can make it anything you like.
You can.
You could make it the size of an A4 paper in any orientation. Yeah, so don't feel limited to that size.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think you're right. People don't really realize it yet.
You know what else it's good for is, Docs is terrible at, say you want to do a newsletter or something. So bad.
That's why we made ours in Canva.
Yeah, well, if for whatever reasons you want Canva, you wanted something simpler, maybe younger kids, you don't want so many options, well, you'd make it in slides and just change the page orientation.
Of course, yeah. No,
heaps easier to move your boxes and
it
pictures
is,
around.
and shapes as well, yes. So, look, FigJam pros, cons, we kind of covered it, but pros, look, it is the easiest transition from Jamboard with the lowest learning curves. You can directly Jamboard file conversion, and it's free. But the cons, it's definitely not as powerful as Lucid, Sparkful, that detailed, complex diagramming. The name.
Yes, and I put it too when I was thinking about it.
That's so you, my gosh.
But it's just another tool to manage.
Exactly. If you've already got the other ones, stick with them, I think. Yeah. And like Lucid Spark, like we were saying, excellent for turning collaborative chaos into a structured learning with diagrams. Yeah. Really, I love the collaborator controls to moderate and manage the lesson, dragging all the students to the one place you want them to focus
really
on
handy.
If they're all here, there and everywhere. But yes, the cons, definitely, I agree. The interface can feel more complex, like you were saying, for early primary students rather than FigJam or what Jamboard was originally. And Canva, look, pros, easy to log in, integrated with a tool you're already using, best visual design as always. Cons, I would just say the whiteboard features aren't really just about the sticky notes compared to probably it's a bit over too much.
Yes, and then there's lots of just put in a picture. Like in terms of kids, we want them focusing on the content of what they're putting in.
Let's put a pretty thing in.
Not necessarily the design elements, even though that's the funnest part. But in our busy days, we want the content coming. So
yeah, that's right. That's what this is for. Okay, so look. Curriculum guru, take us away.
I will. So rather than talking about a specific tool, I'll talk about how a digital whiteboard can help with collaborative inquiry, multimodal text creation, and different visual representations. I think the strongest link is with our English curriculum. Not so much that it's creating a formal written text, but it's giving you tools to be able to achieve that aim. So you're looking at skills around planning and sequencing, and using digital tools to do that, even modelling the use of graphic organisers, which is essentially what a whiteboard is, during that planning phase in a way that means you can keep it. So, of course, at the moment, the lap-based whiteboards are really popular.
Yes.
And I think they're a fabulous tool. You know what it makes me think of? You know, in the old days, you had a slate.
Oh, like a slate. Yes.
That's
That
what I
reminds me of
think of.
End of Green Gables.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of. I thought those teachers had no marking in those days.
They're just
wiped
wiped off. But I use them a lot. Like it's a
Yep.
huge, big directive with explicit teaching at the
Mhm.
moment. And yes, so much. And it is great. There is definitely a place for them. But the part that I found tricky was there's not very big to fill.
Mhm.
And then the students would want to take a photo of it to then go take it back to
Yes.
their desk
Yep.
to help them with their writing. Like,
Yep.
because we'd have these really rich discussions and they'd write down some great ideas. But then it's like, oh, and some kids go, oh, I already wiped it off.
Yeah,
and it's
or
like,
it
nah.
smudges. So great for a skill. I think if you want to be practicing your spelling or writing out a sentence, whatever it is, fantastic on your physical whiteboards. But if you're doing something that is going to lead back to their desk, lead back to the lesson tomorrow, then you want something that you can save. And a whiteboard as a digital tool is really useful for that. I think it leads also into the multimodal meaning making, being able to use not only a text-based language, but visuals, different audio, and different ways of making meaning. You know what I really love myself is the noting. If you haven't seen it, Google it. Yeah, and so I think if you're that way inclined, these sort of whiteboards, like, because we're talking about them collaboratively mostly while we talk today, but they don't have to be a collaborative tool. They can be more of a brainstorming kind of tool.
Well, then, planning, we've been doing a lot of that plan practice towards the end of the year for year 4. And planning time is a huge part of it. And we were creating a Google Doc for them and putting timers in the doc and setting it up like a template with the tabs of planning time, 5 minutes, and then a new tab for within the doc.
Yes.
This is your
I love
writing
tabs
time.
in a document.
Oh my gosh.
Love 'em.
Like, yeah.
If you're not using tabs in your documents, get onto it.
Totally. Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. But like sort of going off track. But there's definitely ways to link it to what we're doing with the curriculum, with the literacy.
Yep.
For sure.
Then I was thinking about science, and because the science syllabuses rely so heavily on that design process, perfect tool for generating ideas. If you've got a whole class working on the same problem, you've got a small group working on a different problem, whatever it is, being able to get those ideas, almost like what do they call them? Vision board.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to come up with lots of different ideas that spark ideas in that initial phase of your design process.
It just made me think of something totally off the top of my head, but there's a free app on iPads if you're an iPad user called Freeform.
Oh, yes, good idea.
And that's also you could totally use. It's very similar to
Yes,
Canvas.
it really is.
I've done it more for mind maps, pictures, collages and stuff. I've even done it with Kindy, which was cool. They took photos of themselves and put them on here, but you can add shapes and all of that. But it's really cool for that. So it's definitely yes, but they are really good. So that's another, if you want it, like we were just saying, so made me think of it, an individual way of doing that. Yeah, if you've got iPads in your classroom.
I like Freeform. I've used it a bit.
Great.
I like it for sketchnoting.
I've seen your own. We'll do that many times, mate.
It's doodling away.
All right. So I think we've sort of covered all of those things. We've used it before. In some instances, you can scaffold the direction.
Well, you could have a template.
Yes. So that might be helpful. Maybe if you do have to use Lucid Spark, and like we were saying, it is can be over, you might make it more simplified for certain students, or have certain parts for some and not others. Just depends.
I feel like primary, a template would be good for everyone.
Yeah. Well, we even had that one. We used it for teachers and just made a copy
gets
every
everything
time.
moving too.
Yeah, it's quicker. Yeah. Thank you, Louise, for your lovely question. And it is one that's come up with us quite a lot.
And hopefully other people listening who might not have used a whiteboard might be a little inspired this in their classroom.
Definitely. And particularly if you are very familiar with Canva, or you might go to your Google Drive and go to New and realise, I do have access to Lucid Spark and Lucid Chart. Just give it a go. And there are a lot of great tutorials online that you could find to help. But definitely, look, the final verdict, I guess if you're looking for the most seamless replacement, it probably is FigJam. But our favourite one would probably be Canva. And then if you're looking for a really structured, organised planning and diagramming, I would go with Lucid Spark. But have a go. Let us know how you go. That would be cool. So
perfect.
Please follow us on Take It Up a Notch AU. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a website, takeitapanotch.com.au, and email takeitapanotchau@gmail.com. And feel free to send us stuff. Louise shared with us on Instagram, which was awesome. Gives us great ideas. We have a whole list of episode ideas, but we love
Keep us going for
yeah. We have so many. It's so good. And we keep thinking of more. But yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this ideas with replacing Jamboard.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
All right. Bye.
Take it up a notch.
So we're coming back in for the new year, Claire.
Yes. So exciting.
Hopefully everyone out there had a good break. We're currently in the no man's land of Christmas and
when
New
you
Year's.
don't know what day it is, and it's great.
But if it wasn't for the kids, I literally wouldn't have remembered what kids are like. Where's Claire? When's she coming?